Demi, you're a big proponent that rules and setting up a schedule is so important. So tell us how you encourage and incorporate that for these kids.
I encourage parents to use organizational charts throughout the week. This is so good because it helps them really have an idea and a breakdown of what's happening throughout the day, from breakfast time to bedtime. I also like the idea of making this a family project, making sure that all hands are on deck when it comes to chores, because a lot of moms right now are saying, I just need a little bit of help. And then intentionally making sure that you have time on your chart carved out for family time. This is so important. And also giving yourself as a parent to give yourself permission to take a break from all of the screen time that's happening in your home and making your dinner time a no phone zone area. This is so important because this gives you an opportunity to really catch up with your kids throughout the day, to check in with them, to find out what they learned today, what was interesting, what was insightful for them. And then when you want to drill it down a little bit further, making sure that you have that quality time before you go off to bed. So reading time with the kids, maybe playing a board game. This is so important. Families definitely need to make sure that they have these charts on deck because right now this pandemic has absolutely been painful, but yet it's purposeful because it's bringing families closer together.
So I think what you're saying is, Demi, to keep everybody honest, you like to see a certain amount of accountability via charting, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Demi, it's amazing you're saying that because I don't have a lot of rules in my house. I have a lot of guidelines, but not a lot of hard rules. One hard rule is no electronics, phone, iPads, anything at the table. That is family time to be cherished. Dr. G, we spent years being mindful of the amount of time our children are spending on screens, but now it feels like that's totally out the window. I mean, they have to be on screens to do school, and then you want to give them some recreation with the screen. So how do we know when it's just too much?
I absolutely agree with Demi and with you that you've got to have some time carve-outs and maybe some place carve-outs in your home that are screen-free. But the rest of the time, some parents taking a break can only happen when their kids are on screens or getting any work done. So I want to give parents some grace and compassion and remind you that there's two things to think about when you think about your kids' screen time. And it's just like you think about feeding them. It's about content and quantity. And in the pandemic, the rules have changed for quantity. They just absolutely have. And I got to warn my kids, and you might want to too, that post-pandemic, these rules will not apply. But for now, during the pandemic, we're going to, I hope, worry a little bit less about quantity and really focus on content. Think about it like food. There's broccoli screen time, like FaceTiming with grandma, or doing math problems. And then there's ice cream sundae screen time, like video games. And there's kind of in the middle, I call it cheese sandwich screen time, that's somewhere in the middle. And on screens, just like in food, there's poison. There's stuff you could never give your children. So when you start to think about and tell them to tell you about their screens in terms of what's the content, how healthy is it for them? Well, if my kid wanted to eat 10 meals a day, I would be skeptical, but if all he wanted was broccoli, I'd feel a little bit better about it.